Alright, welcome to our new unit on transformations. And we're going to start out with translations, which sounds a lot like transformations. Transformations is the general term for any kind of change to a shape that we're going to make, such as reflecting it or mirroring it, sliding it, which would be a translation, or rotating it around a point. So in this first one, it's a little bit of a different style of videos, and your homework's also a little bit different style here. In this first problem, we are asked to take this triangle right here. We have 3 points on this triangle. We're asked to move it 1 unit to the left and 3 units down. And you might think that's not too overly difficult to move. Start at any given point, and we go 1 unit left, and then 1, 2, 3. Count and move it 3 units down. Okay, well, we can do that. And we repeat that with each of the coordinates. So we move it 1 unit left, 3 units down, and then we would draw our new shape. Now our new shape needs to have a name. Our new shape is going to be named the same thing as our first shape, which we see that we have an A, a B, and an I, and we need to name that new shape the best way we can, and we are going to name it A prime, and that's a little tick mark there, B with a little tick mark called B prime, and then I prime. Now the reason that we use the prime symbols is because we have created what's called an image, and I'm just going to write that here. We created an image, and the image is the original shape but modified. So whenever you create an image, you take the original shape and you do something to it. Now, one of the things you have is this transparency sheet, these clear sheets here that you can overlay over the original problem. And to make sure that you did things right, we can try to do the same translation here. We can move 1 unit to the left, and then 1, 2, 3 units down. And we can make sure what we drew lines up with what we were supposed to get. So for some of you that are more visual learners, you'll find that using these sheets to kind of do the rotation, do the translation step completely out will help you visualize what you're trying to get to. Some of you might want to do this first and then draw out your pieces, or some of you just might want to use this to check your answers. Last example we're going to do is we're going to go down to the bottom. So we're going to look at number 5. We are told to write a rule to describe each translation. Now when we're writing a rule, we need to say what type of transformation we're doing, which in this case, because we see that it slid over, we are going to call this a translation. So we want to write out that it is a translation, and we are going to start from the x and the y that we are given. So we're going to just write xy like that, and then we're going to put an arrow to say where it goes. So you can see here our original coordinates is this n, l, g, and v. Those are the original coordinates of the original four-sided shape. Now the new coordinates here is the ones that have prime in it. So prime is where it moved to. And when we see those new coordinates, we see that if we go from n to n prime, we had to move 2 units over to the right. So we moved over to the right 2 units. You'll also notice that we did not move up or down. We stayed at the same height. So y did not change. So I might even say up 0 just so I remember that I checked for it but didn't find anything. And you can check all the other points. L goes over 2, V goes over 2, and G goes over 2 to get to its prime. Now, up on top we said translation XY is going to go 2, and this is where we use what we found here. We moved over in the X2, so we're going to say the new position is X plus 2, and since we didn't go up any, we're just going to write Y, which is the same as saying Y plus 0. So when we're writing out our rule, we first say that it is a translation because it slid over. We go XY initially, and we have an arrow to our new spot, X plus 2,